Today on Cityline, we are deep into sweater weather.
Wool is fabulous. There's a reason why we've been wearing it as a fabric for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
We're talking washing wool, and I'm not afraid to ask the tough questions. So at no point do we throw it in the dryer.
Absolutely not, unless
Just check it. Then Chef Trevor lets us know the one item every kitchen needs.
Then what's really important that everyone should have at home is a Chinese whisk. Okay.
We've got a savory pancake recipe you're going to want to try. And later, Frankie Flowers solves the mystery of your strange neighbor.
If you're wondering why your neighbor's peeing around their garden,
Yeah.
the smell of humans will also keep your garden, the animals like that away.
All the tips you need to keep pests out of your garden.
It's Cityline with Tracy Moore.
Good to see you all today. Welcome to Cityline. It's Monday. We're going to kick off your week with a fun show. We've got wine. We've got food, gardening. We have daily essentials. But first, we are so deep in sweater weather right now. But have we been cleaning our woolies right? We need to get some tips. Here to show us how to wash them properly, Shoana Jensen. She's going to help us out. Have you ever worn shoes to the show and then tried to walk in them and it doesn't work out? I am slipping right out of my heels this morning. It's like they're really pretty, but they're not obviously.
I was going to say, but you look fabulous.
They're not for walking,
Yes.
but they're so cute and they match the pants.
They do.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that
it's
nice?
worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about wool. 'Tis the
Yes.
season. As a fabric, what do we need to understand about wool so we're treating it properly?
Okay, wool is fabulous.
Okay.
It is such an incredible, well, there's a reason why we've been wearing it as a fabric for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And it lasts so long.
Yeah.
So here's the deal with wool. And we're talking real wool, not a blend. I'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay.
So wool itself can be a bunch of different names. So wool sweater's a wool sweater, lamb's wool, still wool, cashmere, wool, alpaca, wool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all within the wool family.
Yeah.
And all of that comes from the hair of goats, sheep, lamb.
And alpacas.
Depends, and alpacas,
Yeah.
right? But in a very kind way. We're not, there's no.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing you need to know about Shoana is she is into animals. So
Yes.
you're not putting on anything where an animal was hurt. So
Yeah.
it's nicely sheared off them.
Yeah.
They need a haircut anyways.
Yeah.
It all grows back. No one is hurt in the process.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so big check mark with that. But
Yeah.
let's get to how we are going to use it. It
Right.
comes off, they're wearing it as a sweater,
And
it comes
is this
to us.
Is this wool?
This is cashmere, actually,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
I'm wearing.
excuse me. It feels very good.
Okay, but there's affordable cashmere.
Yes, there is.
Relatively affordable cashmere.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with wool. I'm going to talk about pure wool. That's that
Okay.
lamb's wool type scenario.
Yeah.
It's sustainable. Check.
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't biodegrade. And when it is done, it does biodegrade. When it
does,
is
yeah.
done, it doesn't go into the landfill and sit there for a million years.
Good.
It is water repellent.
Okay.
So this is why it's very good when it comes to outdoor type clothing, things like that. You get wet snow on you, you get a little bit of rain on you, and it repels it. It will just trickle
Okay.
off of it, which
Good.
also then lends to it whisking away perspiration when you're wearing
Yes,
it.
yeah.
I still prefer to wear like a tank top or a t-shirt or something like that
Something
underneath the
underneath.
wool, but
Yeah.
you don't have to if you want to.
Okay.
It whisks that away. Antimicrobial.
Ooh.
It is because it's whisking away.
Yeah.
It's UV protectant.
Ooh.
Because we think of UV in
Go
the
on
summer.
with your bad self, wool.
Right?
I didn't know wool was doing all of that.
It's
So
doing-
like the wool wintry socks, this is why we wear them, the wool sweaters.
Yes, we're thinking UV protection in the summer, but the sun
Yeah.
is out in the winter. We need to do the UV protection in the summer.
Totally.
It's fire resistant even.
What?
It's hypo. yeah,
Huh?
it is. It is. They
Okay.
make insulation out of wool actually for
Okay.
houses.
Yeah.
It's also hyperallergenic, so people with asthma, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is a list. I could go on and on. There's even more.
Yes.
But wool really is a phenomenal product.
Okay, and why are some of these wool sweaters itchy? Because I cannot.
Oh, yes. Yes.
When you get, like, how do you know, and why is it? Why are some of them itchy and some of them aren't?
Yeah, it really comes down to the source, the quality, and if there's a blend. So, like cashmere is not an itchy. It's known for its
never
softness. It's very
itchy.
famous for that.
Yeah.
But if you go ahead and blend in something with that cashmere, it's not 100% cashmere. An itch factor might come in there.
Okay.
Same with a wool that comes from a lamb versus sheep. Alpaca is very soft. So you want, if you're itch sensitive, some people think it's an allergy. It's probably not, although, you know, teach their own.
Yeah.
Make sure you're buying the right kind for you and that
Get
it
the
is
good
pure.
wool.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
And like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean expensive.
Yes.
Where instead of buying, we said this earlier, instead of buying 5 $20 sweaters, buy one really good sweater
and wear
for
it a
$100.
lot. And wear it a lot.
Wear it a
Buy
lot,
your
you can.
quality things and wear them a lot.
Yeah.
That's what we need to normalize. Like, enough with the fashion hauls.
Yes,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
buying
yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff and then trying them on in every color. Like, get one good thing.
Yes.
Now let's wash them.
Okay, so sometimes people are like, oh, wool is too hard to handle.
Yeah.
You know, too precious.
Picky.
Same with cashmere, you know, all those things. It's really not.
Okay.
Because for starters, you don't have to wash it, which sounds crazy, but because
Yeah.
we're wicking away water, we're wicking away stains. Like if you were to drop like just a little bit of a coffee on it, it'll ball and you just kind of like flick it off. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't absorb into the fabric.
It shouldn't stay in your
Not
wool.
right away. Now listen, if you dump a plate of spaghetti on you, I can't help you.
whole other
Like
situation.
then we're gonna wash.
Right.
And if you have worn your sweater and you feel like it's a little bit musty,
Maybe
for lack
it
of a
smells
better
like
word.
my panic sweat. You know, when you have like a
Yes.
good old fashioned panic sweat,
Yes.
and it's like they don't smell good.
Yeah.
Right?
So before throwing it into the wash, let's hang it first. Put it on a hanger,
Okay.
put it outside on a sunny day, just air it out.
Okay.
Most of the time that's going to take care of it. But let's say you're in a situation where you do have to wash it. It's so easy. You're going to get a bowl or a basin, you know, something. I like a bathroom sink because it's little and it's easy to use. You're just going to put a couple of drops of a delicate, gentle laundry detergent. Just a couple of drops. You don't need a lot, okay? This is a cashmere sweater. I'm going to use it as an example. This has got water. Now, right away, we think we want to go to scrub it.
That's
you do
so
not.
me.
Yes, because that's what that's because that's what our washing machine does, right? It wants to agitate. Hardier fabrics can handle that. We don't want to do that here because we don't want to get the pilling on something like a cashmere. And a pure wool, you could fray the fibers and you get the fuzziness. Okay, so we're washing it, and all we're doing is gently kind of massaging it, let's say.
Okay.
Treat it like a bit of a ball of dough.
Give it a massage.
Give it a massage.
Be nice to your sweater.
If you have a little yuckiness somewhere in it, gently work that stain out of whatever it is. Try to avoid doing the abrasion. Just with your finger, with your nail, flick it off. That should probably take care of it. Okay, now we're going to throw out the soapy soiled water.
Yeah.
We're going to either fill it with clean water again to get the soap out of this or rinse it under the tap generally. We want the soap, you know, to obviously come out of this.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to extracting the water, this is the part where I do want people to be careful with this.
Okay.
You don't want to
this.
like go like this and like wring it because these are pliable fibers now. And so you could stretch it and warp it. It's so easy. Start at the top and just work your way down, squeezing out most of the water.
Got it.
Then to finish it, we're going to get a clean towel, like a bath towel. That's all this is, folded in half.
Okay.
And you put your now less wet, a little more than damp, but less wet sweater. And all you're going to do is roll it, pushing down, and all the leftover water, moisture that's in here, most of it, is going to be absorbed by the towel. Okay? If it's a very, very thick sweater, ski sweater style, we're really going in, maybe do it twice.
Okay.
Because it wants to repel that water, so it wants to go into the towel. Then to dry it, we're either going to pull out a clean towel and lay it really flat to dry, or these are really terrific, and you can get them all the home care stores and Amazon.
Trampoline.
It is. And we're going to lay it flat on the drying rack. But again, if you don't have one of these, you can use a dry towel. And just be conscious that you're laying out the sweater in proportion. Like, don't make one sleeve a little longer because, again, pliable fibers, it's going to...
It'll stay that way.
Stay that way. And it's a time to take advantage, like myself. A tall drink of water, I want a little bit length on my sleeve. I can give it a tug and give it a little bit more length.
Nice. So at no point do we throw it in the dryer?
Absolutely not. Unless
Just checking.
Unless you want my little dog Murphy to be wearing it, because
it would be cute on Murph.
So cute.
Everything's cute on Murph. This is a really good lesson. Thank you so so much.
You're
Take
welcome.
care of your clothing, and I'm telling myself that. We're going to break. We have more coming up. Stay with us. I could be so much better about my clothes. Coming up, the pressure is on for Chef Trevor.
Oh, we're going to make this happen.
It's going to happen. I'm not even nervous.
We've done
Maybe
things a
little
lot
nervous.
quicker.
Welcome back, my friends. One of the things I enjoy the most about this next guest is that he is always hustling. Every day he's hustling. We see him as a chef on Cityline all the time, but he's also a restaurateur. He's very important. Please welcome Chef Trevor Lui. And whenever we manage to get you in studio, it's a vibe. We're so happy.
We're dancing.
We're dancing.
Yep.
Now, you always have something going on, but you have a big something going on right now. So please tell us about your latest venture.
Can't sit still. We opened a new restaurant on the west side of Toronto called Fat Bow inside a beautiful little cocktail bar called Simple Things.
Give it up for Chef Trevor and Fat Bow. So this is, like you weren't busy enough. I mean, a whole restaurant, which is beautiful. And there's a whole sort of concept behind the restaurant. Tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Well, anytime we serve food, whether it's in catering or open a restaurant, we want to use the food as a vessel to tell stories.
Yes.
It's really about recapturing the authenticity of classic Chinese cuisine, but we call it neo-Chinese because we want to present it in a more new age way. Marrying it with things that we love, we grew up in because we grew up in North America, but really reclaiming a lot of that classic Chinese heritage and flavor.
I really love and appreciate and respect that because food is more than just food. Food is culture. It's a story, as you say. It tells a lot about history. And so the fact that you're being very true to these traditional recipes, but doing them in a way for 2023 is very cool to me. What we're going to make right now is Kong Yu Bing. Kong Yu Bing. So tell me about this. Like, what is it? How do I say it properly?
Well, Kong Yu Bing is phonetically in Mandarin, Kong Yu Bing. In Cantonese, it's Chong Yao Bang. But when you interpret it, it actually means scallion pancake. And we talk about things like Kong Yu Bing. Sometimes we have a feeling of whether or not that's the name we should put in our menu because that sometimes becomes a barrier for customers in actually ordering food.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing because I think we've all sort of normalized French menus, Italian menus, and we have learned those languages in order to order the things we want.
Correct.
Why can't we do that for Cantonese and Mandarin and you know, Chinese recipes?
We are seeing a lot of that. There's more of an acceptance of normalizing ethnic cuisine, particularly in North America.
Yeah.
Chinese food is probably the most misunderstood cuisine because there's so many regions.
Yeah.
In North America, we have North American Chinese, something we grew up in my dad's restaurant with, but that's not really Chinese food for all of us that grew up eating authentic Chinese food. It's regional to North America, but some of this stuff is really regional to some of the places we grew up in, and we're marrying it with amazing North American technique as well.
Well, you're like centering this whole thing on mortadella, so tell me about that.
I mean, mortadella is, I grew up in, you know, just a little north suburb called Rexdale with a very vibrant Italian community. In the plaza where my dad's restaurant was, we had a Chinese restaurant, a Korean gentleman owned a convenience store. His name was Mr. Kim. We had a hair salon, a bakery, and then we had a huge Italian grocery store across. So I ran around seeing rabbit and mortadella and bologna. So mortadella for me is one of those things we love. It's in my top 10 things.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, now we have like 4 minutes to make the recipe.
I know. Okay, scallion pancakes. Scallion pancake. We get these scallion pancakes made for us in Toronto. Very important. It's kind of like that frozen pizza. That when they say cook it frozen, you want to take this out of the freezer, give it a couple of minutes so it's kind of malleable like this. So it's still a little frozen. So in a hot pan, some neutral oil.
So you're not trying to thaw it or anything?
No, we're not trying to thaw it. We're going to put this right in,
into the pan.
and we're going to let heat and magic do this. Now, the other big thing we have in this that you got to cook, because there's not a ton of cooking, there's a lot of assembling here, are the dressings and a poached egg. If you've got a sous vide, now I understand you have a sous vide at home.
We have a sous vide, and I never put eggs in it.
No, so this is essentially a
meat.
It's a meat jacuzzi, basically.
It sure is.
This
feels
is
good in there.
Immersion cooking, so you get to set a temperature, and it stays that temperature. It won't vary. So we're doing a sous vide egg. We want it to be a little runny, almost like gelatinous. So there's a very exact temperature we put it at. We put the eggs in, 45 minutes, an hour, it'll stay like that. You can walk away and leave it.
Beautiful.
Okay, so in case you don't want to do that, you know what we can do
if you don't have a sous vide,
we can teach you to
just
poach an egg.
Scary.
We can teach you to poach an egg.
Which I find very hard.
It's not that hard once you learn. So here we got some water.
Okay.
We don't want it violently bubbling. We just want it simmering.
Okay.
What we want to do is we want to get a spoon and we want to create a vortex.
Oh,
Vortex.
science. Okay.
Then we want to add a little bit of white vinegar, which will help the science of separating the white, not to separate too much. Very important, egg in a container.
Slowly,
and then slowly let it in. Now let science do its work. While that's happening, we're going to flip this pancake over.
That is so cool.
Look at that already. All right. Now we're going to do our dressings, Tracy.
Yep.
We have two dressings here because we have arugula, which we're going to create a little bit of a salad.
Okay.
So a little bit of fresh lemon juice.
Good.
Some olive oil, because who needs?
That's the cutest little.
This is like my traveling olive oil.
That's adorable.
I put it in my back pocket. We have a little bit of grainy mustard.
Okay.
This is Provençal mustard, so it's got a little bit of color. And then we've got our joy sauce, our joy spice, which is our finishing spice.
Okay.
And then what's really important that everyone should have at home is a Chinese whisk. Okay? Chopsticks.
I have so many of them.
They're good for making dressing. They're great for eating snacks on the couch. You don't get your fingers dirty. They're also really good at. They're also really good at disciplining your children. So
yeah, they are.
my mother would tell you that we've broken many.
I remember those days.
Back when it was legal to discipline your children with chopsticks. We don't do it anymore.
No.
Okay,
That's basically anything close by, really. Paper towel roll.
Paper towel roll.
Slipper.
The duster.
Yep,
right?
duster. Anything goes.
So then the last one is going to be. This is almost like if you're making wontons. You make this dipping sauce. Soy sauce. Trevor's chili sauce.
Yeah.
And then some Chinese black vinegar. Okay.
Very nice.
Now it's plating time. This is pretty much done.
That's quick with the pancake.
And look at the egg. Look at the egg. It's doing its magic right now.
So this is what you want. It's perfectly poached, and we didn't mess with it or anything.
We didn't mess with it. We're gonna cut this almost like a pizza.
Okay.
If you've got only 2 people, you can make 4. At the restaurant, we do 6 to 8 because we really want to share the food.
Yeah, that's part of it, right?
So here's the base of the Chung Yao Bang.
We have a minute left.
Oh, we're gonna make this happen, Tracy.
It's gonna happen. I'm not even nervous.
We've done
Maybe
things
a
a
little
lot
nervous.
quicker. Okay.
Yeah.
Mortadella, lots of it. If you like mortadella, put more in. Don't ever buy light because you'll get judged by people.
Oh, okay.
I did that once. My friends judged me.
Oh, so don't get the light.
We got some arugula in here.
Nice.
And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna toss it with this dressing.
Lovely.
Okay.
And I'm interested to see where the arugula is gonna go.
We're making a wreath.
Oh,
we're making a wreath.
Lovely.
A wreath of arugula. Get a little bit more arugula
so
here.
So you get a little bit, you get your carbs, you get your protein, you get your veg, a ton of greens on there.
We're almost there. This is what we're gonna do.
We gotta do the egg.
We gotta do the egg, Trace.
Okay, so when you do the egg, this is where you get sort of the money shot. So we wanna make sure that we can see this.
Okay, look at that sous vide egg. See how that thing just kind of came out like that, right?
That's what you want, though,
this is what we want. We want that yolk right there. And then we're gonna take some of this dressing. Okay.
Nice.
Just a little bit like this.
We're missing silence.
Can you pass the cheese, Trace?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't tell you that we're putting aged cheddar in this.
You kept that a secret. Cityline.tv for the recipe. As you can see, it is a lot of assembly, but it's all of these things that you're putting on now that's going to take you to Flavor Town.
It's going to take you to Flavor Town. And what you want to do is you want to see who the person is going to be that gets to break that egg.
If you stay, put it right there. We're going to get a shot of it, right where it was.
Right where it was here?
Yeah.
And then we want to just do this.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you see
that's your
That's a money shot, right? That's your Instagram
everybody.
shot.
Perfectly done egg. You want it to be ooey gooey good, a little gelatinous. It is perfection. We're going to break. We have more coming up. Go get the recipe. Well done. Coming up, the surprising item you need to keep squirrels out of your garden.
Chicken poop in a bag. Yeah.
They don't like the smell.
Woo.
If you have a garden, you can be sure that garden pests will make themselves at home. We're going to keep the critters away with some help from this guy, Frank Ferragine. Thank you for helping us out.
Thank you.
We like the critters.
I love your top.
I'm a garden.
You are. Look.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, I totally match
You totally do.
Do you even see me? Am I here? Totally.
Look at that. I love
all
that.
the flowers.
I
So
love
we
that.
like the critters. I mean, they're cute. We don't really want them eating all of the things that we've worked so hard to create. Before we even get to that, what do we need to do with our gardens to put them to bed? It's getting a little frosty out there.
Yeah, so when you're putting your garden to bed, first thing that you want to do is think about snow and cold and extreme kind of chill factor, so to speak. So some of the evergreens, you may want to build windscreens up for those. Some of the other plant material that's died back because of the frost, like annuals, you want to remove those from the garden. Even some of the perennials, you can cut back right to the ground like hostas. Echinacеas, which are harder stems, you want to leave those a little taller so the snow will collect and actually insulate them.
Okay.
But by cleaning our gardens up nicely, we can actually reduce the amount of homes we can create for these different things we're trying to avoid.
Right, because they're all looking for a nice soft place to land or to, you know,
To make a house.
snack, and they want to make a house.
Yeah.
So we are overrun with squirrels.
Yeah.
They're kind of cute. The city
really.
squirrels are very aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
They will take snacks from your kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can be a little annoying in the garden. What do we do about the squirrels?
I always joke that they're employed by garden centers. We send them out to kill all your plants, so you have to buy more. That's what I always say.
That's what they do.
First and foremost, this is planting season when it comes to fall bulbs. So a lot of different types of bulbs that are out there in the world, but tulips are a bulb that really squirrels love. Narcissi, which are daffodils, squirrels will stay away
So
from
narcissistic.
them. Yeah, you got it. These guys here are poisonous to squirrels. They're perennialized, so I'm always team daffodil over team tulip. These guys are easier. They come back. Squirrels stay away. Now,
Okay, they don't want to eat those.
if you are team tulip,
Yeah.
and you love your tulips, what you can do is put the bulb in. You're going to plant it whatever the height of the bulbs, 3 times in depth. That's the depth that you plant it.
Okay.
Then you're going to put soil on top. Then you're going to put chicken wire on top of that and soil on top. The tulips will grow through the chicken wire, but the squirrels, when they try to dig in, won't get to them.
They won't be able to get down through that.
You
Okay,
got
good.
it. And then squirrels as well,
Yeah.
they hate chicken manure.
We all do.
Yeah, imagine that.
Gross.
Chicken poop in a bag. Yeah.
They don't like the smell. They don't like the
Yeah.
smell, huh?
Yes.
They don't like the smell
They don't
either.
like the smell. It's really
Yeah.
good, though. It's calcium enriched, so it
Yeah.
actually helps out with your plants. Just a little top dressing of that can discourage them and keep them away.
Perfect.
If you can't beat them, you feed them. Some of your
Yeah.
fall decor that you have, if you don't want to use it anymore, you can put that on the far end of your property. The squirrels will go and eat these. There's even squirrel feeders where these can attach to the ends, which
Yeah.
will keep the squirrels busy just trying to get towards it. So there's some ways that we can take care of squirrels. So a
That's
reminder
good.
always with
Yeah.
anything, it's what they don't like to see, what they don't like to taste, what they don't like to touch, what they don't like to hear.
Yes.
We're playing with their senses to say, get the hell out of here.
That's right. And being,
Yeah.
you know, as kind as we can, just saying we're going to make it uncomfortable
We're
around
kind
here so
for-
you can go hang out at the neighbor's place,
Yeah, we're
not
kind,
at mine.
We're kind for a bit.
Yeah, right? To a certain
Yeah,
extent.
yeah.
What about the bunny rabbits? What are we
Love-
going to do about them? They're so cute, but they will eat your garden.
Oh yeah, busy
will
like a
eat it
bunny,
all.
and also they breed like crazy.
Yeah, they do.
You start off with 2, and then all of a sudden you got 16. You're like, what the heck happened? Bunnies really like fruit trees, the base of fruit trees, so
Okay.
they'll actually gnaw away at those. So we
Yeah.
can also take the same chicken wire, we can then take it around the base, the trunk of that tree, put this around the base, that'll prevent them from eating.
Good.
A reminder though, as the snow increases, the bunny eats a little higher because he goes on top of the snow and eats
Right.
away. So treating with that will help
So
as
you
well.
might have to wrap higher than you think.
A little bit higher. You can
Yeah.
also spray some different things, different plant material with this, which is called Animal Be Gone.
Okay.
This here is actually
Self-explanatory.
Yes, it's actually got Bitrix in it, so it leaves a really bad taste.
Okay.
And by leaving that bad taste, they'll stay away. So that's, once again, we play with their senses.
Yes.
That doesn't taste good, trained behavior, they'll go somewhere else. If
Yeah.
you have a dog, you can take dog hair. After you go to the groomers,
Okay.
keep that hair, put it around the different garden areas.
Gross.
The smell of the dog will
Yeah.
keep them away.
Okay.
And if you're wondering why your neighbor's peeing around their garden,
Yeah.
the smell of humans will also keep your garden, the animals like that away. So
I'm not telling Leo that. He's going to try it. He will try
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
So if you're-
human pee, they don't like that either.
Yeah, if your neighbor's peeing around their garden, maybe they're just, they're not that crazy.
Got it. All right, what about deer? If you're lucky enough to have deer in your area and you see them, they like to munch. So what do you need to do to keep them away?
One thing that you can do in season, in the garden season, is you can take a nylon stocking
Yeah.
and then put a bar of soap in there and hang it right where they're always going to walk into your property on the same way. They usually dawn and dusk.
Right.
That bar of soap will smell humans. They're very smell sensitive.
Okay.
They'll go away. But a lot of these different creatures will adapt over time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to change these different methods up.
Right.
Animal Be Gone is something else that you can use to spray on plant material. That will
Okay.
also help as well. Other things you can do is coyote urine. I don't know who's. Yeah, you can buy coyote urine.
Can you?
Yep. I don't know who's collecting the coyote urine. But you can buy it and you can put droplets of that around. Yeah.
That's a job I just don't want.
Yeah.
Your last tip is about insects.
Insects and also mice.
And mice.
Yeah, so this guy here is just something that you plug in that's a high pitch frequency.
Okay.
This here will actually discourage mice from coming in the garage and maybe other areas inside your home. But even in the garage, we're trying to prevent them.
Gentle way to do it.
Take the time to go around your property at this time of the year, and just any cracks or crevices, you can buy just cheap steel wool and just shove that into those cracks or crevices.
Okay.
And that'll prevent them from coming in.
Yeah.
You can also use animal begone as well. And then with insects, this is what's called home defense.
Okay.
You just spray this around the doors and around your windowsills, and this will prevent things from ladybugs and things like that from coming inside your home.
They're all coming in. It's time for them to get warm, and we don't want them in there.
Yeah.
Frankie, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
From fall to winter, the Fall Cottage Life Show and Season's Christmas Show begins this Friday at the International Center. Frankie will be there this weekend sharing his seasonal gardening trends. He's so friendly, not just in TV, but also in real life. So you're all going to go home with a pair of tickets. Go visit him and have fun. He's a nice guy. We'll be right back. Stay with us, everyone. Coming up, barrel-aged wine, so flavorful, it's a game changer. Oh, is this a Chardonnay?
It's 100% Chardonnay.
Because I'm not usually a Chardonnay girl. This is fantastic.
I know.
Welcome back, everyone. If you are a wine lover, then you have heard about barrel aging. To give us a more in-depth understanding of it, Renee Sfeffrazza took a trip to Niagara. Let's take a look.
Barrel aging is a part of the winemaking process. Although not all wines are barrel aged, barrel aging really provides a lot of character to the wines. And winemakers have their own way of using barrels to their advantage. Think about it this way. It's like every winemaker is painting with the same color, but they get to choose their own brushes. So today I'm in Niagara and I'm going to be diving into barrel aging, and I'm at Ravine Vineyard. I'm going to be talking to the amazing winemaker, Lydia Tomac.
We have about 400 barrels, and every barrel is different, whether it's the toast level, the age, where it's coopered, what forest it came from. And with Cabernet Franc, it being such a, I would say, a stellar varietal for Niagara, one that showcases a lot of fruit, it's easy to grow, it's great for winters, it's very versatile, but what I love so much about it is it's got this great tension and tannic structure, but all of this, but also it's like spice and great fruit. And so we refer to our barrels throughout the barrel aging process to see how all of those components come into harmony. So what we like to do is paint the barrels red, and that's how we know when a barrel is destined for red wine and when one is destined for white.
And this is nice. E, empty.
E, empty, yeah. There's a triangle here.
What does the triangle mean?
It means attention. I like it.
Attention, I like this.
Yeah.
I love it. Red wine is not the only winemaking style that gets done in barrel. White wine does as well. So I'm diving into the world of barrel-aged white wines with Chardonnays by the ever-inquisitive Thomas Batchelder and his wonderful wines at Batchelder Wine here in Ontario. This is such an amazing cellar, and I can't believe all of this is filled with Chardonnay, all white wine.
It's all done in the great Burgundian tradition where Chardonnay developed. And we do it over here to make the terroirs or the sense of place sing. And the idea here is to ferment it in barrel because the barrel is an oxygenative medium, unlike a steel tank. There's nothing wrong with steel tanks. They're great for, say, Riesling or Sauvignon Blanc. But Chardonnay loves being in barrel, but not to be oaked, to be developing in the presence of a minute amount of air. And that's part of what gives the wine its complexity and its sense of place, or terroir in French. I want you to taste some terroir now, if you would.
Yes, I'd love that. And I really want to find out how you are going about running your barrel program with Chardonnay, because for you, I know it's all about from fermentation to this aging process to the final glass.
Right, so it starts as juice fermenting in the barrel, just Chardonnay, freshly pressed juice. And after about 4 to 6 months, it finished fermenting on indigenous yeast, wild yeast. Then it starts the aging process afterwards. So we're about halfway through here. So you have to have a certain amount of new barrels to generate used barrels. So this is a brand new barrel, a once used barrel, and then an older barrel. This barrel, the older one, has a lower oxygenation rate because the pores are full of old wines that were there before, right? So it's almost like stainless steel, but it still breathes a bit. The new barrel breathes very rapidly. So the longer it stays in barrel, if there is any oaky flavor, the wine digests that and adds it to its complexity, but it's not overtly oaky.
Okay,
thanks for coming down.
Cheers.
Cheers! Amazing, Renee. So it's time for some barrel-aged wine tasting. That's what we want to do now. But before that, what makes barrel aging so unique?
So we got to see how these two winemakers, Thomas Batchelder and Lydia Tomek, went into barrel aging, and we can see that winemakers can do a lot. There are barrels made with different oaks or other types of wood. There are different sizes and different levels of ages. But what we get with barrel aging is the winemaker's voice in the wine, the winemaker's terroir. I've talked about this concept of terroir before. It's everything around the grape that makes the final wine that we drink, and the winemaker is a huge part of that. So now we get to taste what these wines make with that barrel aging.
Very cool. Okay, what do we want to do
All
first?
right, we're going to jump into some white wine first by Thomas. So we're starting off with the Batchelder 2021 Les Villages Chardonnay. So give that a taste and a smell. What he's doing with this is that Thomas is following the Burgundian method of élevage with his winemaking. And literally it's like raising up the starting wine like a child. So he's really working to showcase the Benchland vineyards of Niagara with this wine. He wants to keep that easy minerality and those bright fruit notes, and you get that. Very bright apple notes, little bit of almost like a crushed rock.
Is this a Chardonnay, though?
It's 100% Chardonnay.
Because I'm not usually a Chardonnay girl. This is fantastic.
I know, and that's what shows his level of barrel aging, that mix of different older and newer barrels to really showcase this sense of place. So he's doing it with like a lighter hand within this. And it's really quite cool.
It's delicious.
But
it's
you know,
very good.
You get the sense of barrel aging even more when you go to barrel-aged rosés. Have you had a barrel-aged?
I have never had a barrel-aged rosé, I do not think.
I know.
Very
so
cool.
I want you to give this a try. Think about the last time you had like a Provence rosé, because they're not barrel-aged at all. Give this a taste and a smell. This is the Daido Rosat by Vines La Universal from the Montsant region of Spain. Spanish love putting things in barrels, and this is amazing.
Wow.
It is
It's
so
very different.
structured. There is like almost like apricot and sun-soaked vibes in terms of the fruit. But you know what? Barrels really provide a wine to be more oxygenated. So you get a wine that's bright, becoming less austere with more fruit notes and very expansive on the palate. And you can really feel it. It kind of soaks into everything.
And then it's going to make a difference just how old the barrel is?
Yeah.
Like how much has been in there?
Exactly. So this wine is made from all types of Grenache and local grapes, but it's also fermented and aged in barrels. So it really has that full sense of space with it.
Yeah, very good.
And then when we get into red wines, because everybody knows red wines and barrels, they kind of go hand in hand. But each winemaker does something different. So Lydia, she really likes to put personality into her wines.
She's got a lot of personality.
She has a lot of personality,
She's awesome.
but she's also trying to showcase the personality of the vineyard. So this is the Nancy's Block 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon. She also makes the Lorna's Block Cabernet Franc, not Cabernet Sauvignon. And these are vineyards that are divided by just the driveway of ravine. So they have two different personalities. And what she's doing is she's trying to showcase the personality of this vineyard with barrel aging. Lots of stewed fruit, little bit of savory herbs in there. But at the same time, you're not getting something that's too overly juicy and oaky. She wants it to be easy and mildly flamboyant. That's what you get from Nancy's Block.
I will say that none of these are overly oaky, which I very much appreciate.
I know, and you know, I really tried to pick regions that we get to see oak in and different expressions of it, and even moving from a single vineyard to a whole region, like with the Quilt Wines 2019 Napa Valley Quilt Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a regional expression. It's by California winemaker Joe Wagner. He's very famous. He's made Belle Gloss and some other really great wines. And this is coming from a bunch of Napa Valley AVAs. These are American viticultural areas within the region. Napa Valley is not one continuous area. There's many of them. So there's 6 in here. We have Calistoga, Coombsbury, Oakville, St. Helena, Atlas Peak, and Howell Mountain. About 100 different wines go into this. They make kind of like a quilt within the glass, hence the name. And you get this really unique regional expression that you get with this oak aging as well.
Beautiful.
And none of them are over
Very
oaked.
smooth.
Very smooth, very, very smooth.
Okay, so incredible. Now we need to start thinking about what you get when you get oak aged or barrel aged, because it's a whole different experience, and you can see that wine is like, it's an art and a science.
It really is. It's an art and a science. And you know what? When you talk about barrel aging, one thing that always comes true to me is that you're going to end up paying a little bit more.
Okay.
All of these wines, like this is our entry level. As we move up to something a little bit more pricier on this side, when you're paying for barrel aging, you're paying for time.
Got it.
As you age, as we age, as wine age, it gets a little bit smoother and a little bit easier and a little bit more palatable as well. So you need to pay for that time. And if you rush it, then you get into that like chippy, oaky, too much 2x4.
See, all I heard from that is as we age, we get better.
Yes.
Thanks, Renee.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you for the wine.
You're
Let's go to
welcome.
break. More coming up. Coming up, what you need to bring order to your washroom. Well, I have nothing right now, and so when you open the cupboard, things come out at you. We are back. And it's always nice to keep simplifying our daily lives. Shoana Jensen is very good at this. It's just the way you live your life. You simplify it, and then you come here and you tell us all your secrets. So we want to make going through the washroom process in the morning a more enjoyable process. Not just in the morning all day long. You've got all these little gadgets and gadgets that you can use to make your life a little easier.
Yeah.
Right?
And to clarify, going through the washroom process is more the cute stuff, not the other stuff.
It's the way I said it. They're like the washroom process. No, we're talking about just getting yourself ready for the day.
Yeah, you're like your daily
That's what
routine.
I mean.
Yeah,
Right.
your daily routine. So let's start. We're being silly now. I love it.
Storage.
Like
Yes.
we've seen, I've shown, we all know about these kind of little storage racks, let's call them, that we can put underneath our bathroom sinks. They're great. If you don't have one, run out and get one right away. I mean, this one's from Amazon. Most of these things are from Amazon anyway. So they're all easy to get. But I wanted to specifically highlight this set. It's the one I actually have in my home.
It's pretty.
And the reason why I love it is usually these type of things, they're on like drawers, and to pull them out, they're sticky, and the things fall over.
Right.
And they're not, in my opinion, they're not the most usable. Listen, they're better than nothing, because the amount of storage you can fit under these things and space saving is unbelievable.
Right.
But this one I found and got excited about, because instead of them being drawers, they're just little trays that are
pick 'em up.
on top of each of the little platforms.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, okay, so what's the big deal about that? I get it.
Yeah.
Here's what you're going to do with these ones. Underneath your sink, the bathroom countertop is always such a clutter spot.
And there's not enough room.
There isn't. Doesn't matter how big your bathroom is.
That's
It's
right.
not enough room, and then add multiple people into maybe one or only two bathroom households.
Yeah.
It just gets the worst. So I love these because you can assign each of these trays to like an activity.
Yeah.
So I wake up first thing in the morning, and the first thing I want to do is wash my face and put on my moisturizer. So I'm going to pull this tray out from underneath the sink and place it on top of the counter, and I'm going to do my thing.
Good.
And then when I'm done with that, it's going to go back underneath the sink.
Beautiful.
Likewise with your hairbrush or your teeth, you're brushing your teeth, or it's
Your makeup, your 5-minute makeup face. That's all in its own little.
It's a very
little
personal thing, but use these of each kind of category of task.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Very
it goes
smart.
back underneath the sink. And if you have multiple people sharing one bathroom, give them a tray. I don't know, kids, let's say.
Yeah.
Every kid gets their own tray with their toothbrush and
That's
their toothpaste,
right.
etc. Or your mate, however it works in your home.
Yeah.
But I just thought the trays were far more useful than those like creakety, rattly drawers that usually aren't the best. But again, better than nothing. Better than nothing.
Well, I have nothing right now, and so when you open the
yes.
cupboard, things come out at you.
Oh, I should come over for
Like
a glass of wine and
slap
fix
you
that up.
across the face when you open up the cabinet. So these are way better.
Yes,
What have you got next?
Okay, so these created a bit of a stir on my Instagram, and I thought they were kind of a commonly known thing, but clearly not. So I was like, well, I have to show the Cityline people too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the white ones.
You want the white ones? Okay, so you put these ones on your list,
and then you work out. And 2, and 3, and 4. No.
No. Hi, 80s, 90s, baby.
Okay.
Yeah. What these are actually wrist towels.
Oh.
So, because you know when you wash your face and you're splashing on your face at night to go to, I know, you're all saying the same thing.
And it does this.
And it drips all down your arms and all over the counter, and your pajama top arms are wet, and you gotta sleep in that. It's
It's
annoying.
gross.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
All you do is throw these on and it absorbs. And they're made of microfiber, so they're highly absorbent. And you just toss them into the wash with your towels. So if you're going to get them, get a set. Like this was a set of 4. You can get them 6, 8, depending on.
I know why people lost their minds.
Yeah, I know,
I get
right?
it.
They are clever.
It's a simple thing.
Yeah.
But that is one of the most annoying things that happens to me every single day. The dripping.
Yes. And so
very
many people were
smart.
like, I thought I was the only one that happened to. Oh, girls, no. Girls and guys, everybody out there, it happens to us all.
Yeah. Okay, what are these
pretty
looking?
These are called Japanese scrub cloths.
Okay.
And so if you hold that and you can feel it, they're really, that nice scratchy texture.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're for scrubbing your body.
Yeah.
And, we've got all sorts of things. We've got, loofahs and dry brushing and things like that. Here's why I like these. For starters, they come in quite a fairly big sheet.
Yeah.
You can use them this size, but personally, I cut it in half.
Smart.
Actually, I've even cut it down to quarters before.
Yeah.
If I just want a small, more usable size piece for me. I like it because you can scrub while you're in the shower. Dry brushing is extremely good for you, but it's just one extra step that I just never seem to get to.
Yeah.
And so I like it that you can scrub while you're in the shower. You're already doing it. It's just like using a face cloth.
Yeah.
And because they're so thin, even though they've got the scratchiness, they're so thin, they easily flop over your faucet or your shower door, and they'll dry very quickly, and they will be mold resistant. Where those kind of balls of the netting, those
loofah or whatever.
Yeah, they get all the mustiness in the inside. And they get a little stank.
Yes.
Yeah, those will last longer.
Less stank.
Yeah,
we love that.
Should be in advertising. That's how they should advertise these. Less
Right?
stank. Okay, now the next thing are these hair towels. This might be something people have seen before.
It's cute.
And they either have them and love them, or they don't really get it. And so what this is you put your wet hair in this, good for short hair and long hair.
Yep.
I clearly have very long hair and it fits in this. And after you wash your hair, you put this on your head, you tuck your hair in and you wrap it up, just pile it on top of your head.
Yep.
Much like you probably do with a bath towel.
That's right, but this is so much nice and lighter.
Right, you don't need to go to a chiropractor because of neck pain, because it's so much lighter.
Yeah.
But what I want to tell you about this is that the reason why these are so good, they are crazy absorbent.
Right.
So if you wear this for at least 10 minutes, go pour yourself a coffee, start your makeup, do whatever you want. It'll suck up so much of the water that you'll have to dry your hair less time. Quicker to dry your hair, save you time, and better heat, better for less heat on your hair.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
See, easy thing, but it's going to make a big difference.
Same.
We've got like a little bit of time.
Yeah, last thing,
tip.
we're buying a lot of things in bulk now,
Yes.
including like your mouthwash.
You need to save some money.
It is, yeah. It's so much cheaper to buy it in bulk. I do. Well, I buy these 2 at a time. That's how they get sold. But I don't want this on my bathroom counter. It's ugly and it's big.
Yeah.
So these are just bedside table water carafes. We're just going to repurpose it. And we're going to decant the mouthwash. I've been doing this for probably 20 years.
Shona, you're very classy. And look at that for the mouthwash.
That goes on your bathroom vanity. It's so much prettier.
That's very nice.
And it's easy to drink out of and take your mouthwash for your
So good.
hygiene.
Thank you for showcasing all of these incredible essentials. I
very
know
welcome.
that you all want them. So scan the QR code right now on the screen and you can shop all of these items from Shona's segment. We're going to go to break. More coming up. That was great. We want to shower you with fun, prizes, and unbelievable surprises. Are you ready for this? Head to cityline.tv/tickets and see the show you love come to life. What a Monday, everyone. As the weather gets colder, I love to cuddle up with a good book. Well, I like to read all year round, but right now it is our latest Cityline Book Club pick, The Circle by Katharina Vermette. Everyone in our audience will take home a copy of The Circle. Read it. Let us know what you think. I will chat with the author, and you'll be able to get the inside track on this book. It's incredible and really goes deep when it comes to generational trauma that's happening in so many of our Indigenous communities. Very well written. Thank you so much to our experts today. Thank you, Shona and Renee and Trevor and Frankie. Thank you to our amazing audience here. You're awesome. And our audience at home.